So, we're getting a new Game of Thrones spin-off, The Knight for Seven Kingdoms, or as it's more colloquially known, The Tales of Duck and Egg, which is a series of novellas following Duck and Egg, Duck being Sir Duncan the Tall, and Egg being a random bald child of no consequence whatsoever. I'd actually never read them, so I took a look at the very first one, The Hedge Knight. People use a lot of descriptions about George R.R. Martin's writing. A word very rarely tossed around is charming. This story is actually incredibly charming. First things first, it's kind of delightful for George to be doing a more traditional fantasy. This feels like George's take on Farhad and the Grey Mouser, being as it's about Sir Duncan the Tall and a little pale guy by the name of Egg. It's these two that work quite well in the book. I would argue that Duncan is George's version of a traditional fantasy protagonist. He's from the slums, he's a fundamentally good person. The story involves Egg and Duncan meeting as Duncan attempts to compete in a knight tournament, which escalates into Duncan having to save his life in a trial by combat. I give it a read. It's short and quite charming.